And we're back, everyone, for the third hour of A Song at Tara. So, what happens at the last legs of the mood?
Well, now that everyone seems to be suggested out, so to say,
if no one has anything left to say, then Finna
puts
her hand up.
Oh, excellent.
Whoa.
It's about to get provocative.
Shit's about to get real.
Shiva hands her the bone.
Finna takes it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, it's just you've been boning everyone else all night and I didn't want to be left out of the orgy. She gets it back.
There's some audible groaning going on here.
I think Shiva giggles.
Especially from well, not to put too fine a point on it, but the loudest groaning and the most eye rolling comes from Althea.
Wonder why.
Has absolutely no interest in bones whatsoever.
She's been she haven't been holding the bone tonight.
No. Anyway, once you've God, that was horrible. Once you're done with that, of course, there's the part of the moot which deals with stories and songs and
this part is over, right?
Yes.
So Shiva makes sure to officially declare it over in the right way and all that jazz.
Yeah,
breaking the bone shit.
Yeah, she breaks the bone. And as soon as that's done, then the word is basically free. Everybody can talk whenever they want to, and things kind of disassemble itself into general snickering and groaning and once everybody has had a couple of breaths and settled down after the seriousness, then it's time for, as I said, for songs and for storytelling. And a lot of people want to hear about details of this, that, or the other of your exploits. They want to know. Not surprisingly, the meeting the Fae is a very popular topic. Everybody wants to hear about that, and. Especially because the news from Tara, of course, is that the Fae are actually fighting out there with the Guru, and that they're fighting very, very bravely. Once that is all said and done, then of course it's time for the hunt. And yes, the small red squirrel. Incidentally, before the hunt happens, a raven comes flying across the moot area, cawing loudly and screeching at the interloper flashy bird, and the phoenix rises from Winda's shoulder, flops around a little in surprise actually, and dives back into the bonfire and is gone.
Oi, you get out!
Exactly. and Raven lands on Winda's shoulder and looks enormously majestic and victorious because, I scared it off.
I know what he said in the best Danish way, "What the me kiosk?"
Yeah. The results, of the whole thing, of course, is that eventually you get to the hunts and chasing the small red squirrel around St. Stephen's Green is fun.
Can we say for the sake of comedy that Taryn actually chases it up a tree in lupus form, realizes how tall up she's gotten, and then just clings to it.
Can't get back down. Clings to the nearest branch, whimpering until somebody comes by and says, "Taryn, you're 5 feet up. Change into Hamid, and you'll be able to reach the ground."
Something like that. I'm pretty sure that she grabbed onto whatever branch there was and was actually
somebody else saying, "I didn't know wolves could climb trees to begin with." That sort of thing. It's a lot of fun. It's hilarity all the rest of the night, basically until sun up. at which time everybody has spent 1 point of gnosis, because that's part of the rite. Everybody spends a point of gnosis. This empowers the spirit. It also incidentally empowers the cairn. And the spirit, when it is finally caught, and I'm going to make a roll for that. Who catches it?
It explodes.
Oh, should we do that too? Are we included?
Actually, everyone here roll, and I will say, I'm going to make a roll here, and we're going to do a couple of rolls.
Sure.
I have a system, so everybody roll 1d10.
Oh.
All right, let's do this.
I'm immediately envious at the sound of Jorn rolling actual dice.
Yes.
Two
I rolled highest.
when I climbed a tree.
Yeah. Okay, I
Second
need
highest.
Tally, and
Yeah.
Taryn,
Yeah.
and Connell, and Finna to roll again.
Okay.
Hi, Connell.
7.
again?
Yep, it's gonna be Taryn and Connell rolling again.
Are we going for the lowest?
Going
like
for
it.
first place, perhaps.
Oh my God, that's really tough here. One more time, please. All right. Connell ends up as the victor, catching the squirrel with a daring leap between 2 trees. He is a daredevil. So he basically goes from one tree top to the other, following the squirrel and catching it midair.
Nice.
High fives are in order.
At least
So-
Ren was slightly behind him.
This also means that he doesn't actually lose a point of gnosis. He gets
Oh, cool.
back. So yeah, everybody else is 1 down, but not Connell.
Well done, drenched in squirrel.
The squirrel is very obligingly being limp and dead in his mouth. You can kind of almost tell its little tongue is lolling out there. Oh.
It's like I'm imagining the squirrel from The Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
Being really dramatic about it.
Yes.
The second Taryn sees his jaws closing around the squirrel, she goes into a panic. Spit it out! Spit it out! Spit it out!
Oh, it tastes good.
Doesn't it just taste
You
like fruit?
brute!
He gently puts it onto the ground.
Yes. The squirrel, which of course is spiritually dead because it has to be, dissolves and returns to the Umbra.
Aaron offers thanks.
Yes.
And everybody, incidentally, acknowledges Aaron's awesome hunting ability, which means that Aaron, because he just not Aaron, sorry, Connell. Yes, Connell. Because Connell is such a fantastic hunter, and he just won an official ritual hunt at the end of a moot, gets 1 temporary point of glory.
Oh,
Nice.
Very nice.
Cool.
Squirrel killer right there, yeah.
Slayer of squirrels.
Also, besides that, Shiva gets 1 temporary point of honor. And Fenna gets 1 temporary point of wisdom.
Wisdom. Of all things, she gets wisdom.
There is wisdom in questioning.
There is wisdom. Whenever a Ragabash survives being the fool, they are accorded wisdom.
Yes. There are some septs in the world in which being the fool is more risky than others. This is not the worst. So yeah, the situation is under control, so to say. It is early morning when this and it'll be about half an hour before the gates to St. Stephen's Green are opened because the sun comes up. you can see the red on the horizon as the sun is about to come up, and the mood is officially at an end. We're at the point where Connell catches the squirrel, and that is the official end of the mood. Most people head home to get some sleep. Those who are supposed to stay in the set to guard it and so on, obviously stay here. Kat comes by on the way and pats everyone on the shoulder and says, "Good showing for your first mood. Thank you for all being here and attending. I do appreciate the participation a lot. You should probably take some time to make some plans."
I think we intend to.
Good.
Yeah.
Are we relatively sequestered? Can we speak to Kat without being overheard?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Aaron then looks at her conspiratorially.
He's good at that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. His best feature.
And says to her, "I have something I need to share with you.
Do so."
Among the leeches,
Yes.
there is one called, and I've forgotten what his name is.
That's a good start.
There's one called George Wallace.
Oh.
He
heard of
operates
him.
out of a tattoo parlor.
Oh, right.
He's former kinfolk.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to mention it during the mood because
No,
I
that's
didn't
probably that was smart. That's good thinking on your part, definitely. Is he on our side? I mean, since you know,
Aaron kind of shakes his head. He's on his own side. I believe he has his own life, and it's like he's kind of
his own existence.
Yeah, he looks distasteful when he sounds like he's chewing down on something ratchet, like his own life to worry about, and he has someone dear to him. However, he's not unwilling to help, but he is very frightened of us. So
right, okay. I'm going to have a word with Theodora first and foremost. She's going to be the biggest problem. That's very, very interesting because we are going to need we're going to need a foot in the door because we are going to have to take the fight to the leeches at some point, and it can't be too long because they can get more, they can increase their numbers far more easily than we can.
If you want to use him to get a foot in the door, he says, looking even more conspiratorially and shadow lordy. He says, George holds no love for his prince. He's also a purveyor of information, meaning he's already got his own grapevines.
Good. Then I suppose that I don't know that you talk to this man, just as I don't know that you occasionally go and have a word with Sandy.
Aaron flinches. Definitely flinches.
This again?
Yes, Connell, this again.
Oh,
Matt.
I care not that you haven't said a word all night. When you join in with a brilliant one like that, it's worth it.
I'll just go hunt a squirrel or something.
I was going to say, I would just say, "Oh, man up! You hunted a squirrel tonight. Be content."
But he's basically done, right? So he looks as if he's conveyed his message.
Yes, and she nods and says, do you guys need coffee and bagels? There's a 7-Eleven not too far away. I can go and get you somewhere. Are you okay?
No, I think that would be lovely.
Yes,
In
please,
fact,
she with no name.
So what?
Yes, please, she with no name.
Oh, yes.
Nameless
Yes.
Jarl.
She smiles crookedly and says, well, I have found a new name. I'm mulling it over, but I think I'm kind of settled on it. She says, I'm going to go by Cross's Dark Waters.
So my days of lording the throat split over you are over?
Yeah.
Aaron, I'm imagining Aaron standing like she's turned away from him to look at Fenna, and he's just like so slowly sliding out next to her, like looking over Kat's shoulder at Fenna and just going, no, they're not. Like he's just mimicking, like just keep loading it. It's fine.
I think Taliesin will look to Kat and say, if it is not too presumptuous to ask, what inspires this new name?
The word Dublin is originally Old Norse. She says it's the Celtic name, the Gaelic name, the Irish name for Dublin is Ballyaclia, which means the town at the hurdled ford. So basically, it's a place with a bridge over or a place where you can where there isn't so much a bridge as a series of posts stuck into a ford across a river, which isn't exactly the most impressive name, if you ask me. But that's what the Irish used to call this place. Then, when the Norse came over, they founded another town nearby, which became known as Dyflin, and that's what's now Dublin. But that word means dark waters, or black pool. So yeah,
Aaron suppresses the obvious joke.
So this is the Irish version of Blackpool.
Oh no! No! This believe me, this is much better than Blackpool.
I agree. If for no other reason than because we are here, but seeing as I'm now the one in charge of Dark Waters, let's call it that then. I figured that name would fit.
Karen looks around after Eric.
Eric is, he's still there.
Just as a
She
quick
walks
addendum,
over to him.
AJ, if I may be permitted, just quickly before you continue. Thank you. I want to say, like, Aaron turns to the pack and says, like, I'll be right back. I'll help her carry coffee and bagels.
Yeah.
And he wants to walk with Kat because he has another question he wants to ask her as they're walking. But
Yeah,
that can
let's
wait
take-
until after AJ.
Yes.
After 8.
Let's hear it. AJ, you walk over to Eric.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, we were supposed to talk with you about the guard things.
Right. He looks at you, and you can see the pain on his face. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't. Yes, guard shifts. Every second Tuesday. You're here with me.
Yes.
First time will be. It is. He says and thinks. Again, it's a Friday now, so on Tuesday. This next time we get to 3 days from now.
All right.
Saturday. So yeah. Next week's Tuesday. He looks like he's really struggling with the words. But that's when you'll be here with me, right?
Turn not.
Good.
I think having seen where Taryn went, I think she will follow soon after and
Yeah.
volunteer herself as well.
Too.
He sets up a guard rotation with all of you easily enough. There's no problem. And you realize he has problems remembering you. He doesn't have problems remembering stuff that has anything to do with his duties or. He still clearly knows how to move and fight, but he has enormous difficulties with remembering faces and names.
Poor man.
And it's really you can tell how much it's gnawing at him. At the same time, he does say that if for some reason you're prevented from being here, send someone else. So long as there is somebody there with him to patrol, he's good. But the idea is for you to be there.
I think Shiva asks him if he has a cell phone.
Yeah, he says, I do. And then he has an uncomfortable look on his face again, but I can't remember the code.
Ah, okay.
Hand it to
Taryn
Taryn.
sticks out her hand. I can fix that.
Oh, right.
Don't worry, bro. I got this.
Right. He takes out his cell phone and gives it to you with a hopeful look on his face.
Taryn takes it and then fixes it.
Yep.
And then hands it back. No longer
Fix for
any code to
once.
get in.
Can I just comment real quickly that you're like everyone is accepting that you have a very adept character when the resolution to a problem is I fixed the problem and just everyone just nods in quiet agreement.
It's just here you go.
Yep.
But Shiva continues then and says, "May I suggest perhaps that you take each of our pictures and write our name at them? That might help you."
Right, that's a good idea. He takes a picture and writes it down, and he's quite pleased that he takes a picture of Taryn first, and then he writes Taryn, because he hasn't forgotten her name already. And then he does the same for each of you. So
when he does get to Finna,
yeah,
and needs her name. Hi, I'm Third Splitter.
Oh no!
Stop giving him PTSD.
Just a little test of his memory. Also the truth.
He looks long and hard at her and says, "Fenna, the day I forget who you are, take me out back and shoot me."
But you're too heavy.
Well, I'm still Third Splitter.
Yeah.
Well,
true.
It's good to see you with us.
I'm with you.
And good to know
But
that I'm unforgettable.
Oh, you are. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so annoying though, having this. It's like this. I can almost feel the memories.
I can't say that any.
Sorry.
That's right. I can't say that any of us know anything what it's like what you're going through, but we are going to be patient for you. We're going to stick with you in whatever steps you need to go through to get through this.
Thank you. Well, I'll do my best. I'll definitely do my best.
Hopefully they'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Then Taryn braves the flames and puts her hand on his arm and says, "And thank you so much for saving us that night."
Yeah.
I saved you?
Taryn nods.
You fought magnificently. I've never seen anything like it.
You jumped out of a building for us.
Well, he clearly doesn't see how that is so impressive. For all he knows, he jumped out of the ground floor window.
Shiva chimes in. "Well, Eric, imagine this. We come running, fleeing down the street, and then in front of us we see a whole row of people armed to the teeth with silver-firing firearms. And then, out of the tallest building, you just come bursting out of a window and take them on for us, so we can move on."
That does sound pretty cool. I did that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
But next time, don't jump up from the tallest window.
I'll try. He grins and looks at Connell with a wink, and then he looks back to. It's a very overt wink, and then he looks back to Taryn and says, "I'll try to remember not to."
Write it in a notification on your phone every time you're about to.
Oh dear.
Get the little paper clip from Microsoft Word. "Hi, I can see that you are ascending stairs. Have you considered not defenestrating yourself? I can help you. Do you need my help with this?"
Yes. Ching! And we're gonna hop over to Aaron so he can ask his question.
Oh, right. Oh, goddammit. Yeah, okay, so as we walk,
Yes.
he says to her, cat crosses dark waters. What do you prefer?
In private, just between us, and it's not an official capacity, cat's fine.
He expected her to say, just between us in private, I prefer Miss Mortensen.
No.
But no, not that cool, I see. Okay. He nods.
I believe her name is Marcus Mortensen.
Marcusen, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no worries.
I was like, wait, do they have the same last name?
No.
They do not.
So, anyway, yeah, cat is fine.
Everyone has mentioned it. You somehow sensed that Winter is no longer touched by our enemies.
Yes, that's true.
How?
It is a Gidja gift. It's one of the things the spirits will teach to crescent moons. Normally to crescent moons, anyway. I know that there are a few tribes who can learn the same gift as well. It's very useful, obviously.
Could you teach me, or Aaron says and shakes his head. Do you know of someone who could gift me?
I can point you in the right direction, certainly.
He nods. I will appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Tell you what, I'm going to see if I can't set up a meeting. And then, I'm going to have to go and talk to a lot of spirits anyway over the next couple of days. And then I'll get back to you. Is that okay?
He nods.
Good.
And I think he walks in awkward silence for a little while.
Yeah.
Before he just says, he doesn't look at her. He's just like looking straight ahead when he says it. He said, I don't hate you, you know.
Thank you. And for the record, I don't hate you either. As I've said before, I think we might simply have gotten off on the wrong foot. Let me guess. You worried that I wanted to get rid of the old regime, to use a trite phrase, solely for my own benefit.
Aaron bites his lip. Not really that happy to have her that obviously see through it. And he looks at her, and he's instead of like nodding because it's obvious from his face that she's right, he says, I didn't know whether or not I could trust you. You seem to me a predator.
I am. We all are.
He squints at her. Yes, you seem to me a predator, only interested in her own pound of flesh.
Ah, okay, I get it. Well, no, that I'm not. I am enough of an alpha that I want that pound of flesh for my pack. I may take the first bite out of it, but I'm also the kind of alpha who will not take a larger bite than the others.
He nods. Then he looks back ahead, or like looks in the direction they're walking, and I think he says, I had my reservations about you for a long time. Could you tell me something?
Certainly.
On the 17th, when we found them,
yeah.
He says, obviously referring to the corpses.
Yeah.
Why did no one respond?
To the, you mean why nobody, to the howl?
He nods.
Yeah. Well, what had happened before that howl was I'd walked into the cairn as so often before, and I had Eric with me, and Eric was in a particularly foul mood. He can't help it any more than you can, for that matter. I think he can help it even less. He's as much an Arun as you are, obviously.
Aaron snaps his head at her, like, what are you talking about? And then he stops himself from actually speaking because he realizes exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
okay.
Thanks for proving my point, sort of thing. But
yeah.
So there is that temper, and the temper is a tool, like so many other things. And Eric is usually really, really good at using his anger and his rage in a very focused kind of way, but ever so often, as you know, you've known him for years now, he can't. He walked into the sept, or into the cairn that night. He picked a fight with Patrick, as he does all too often. And for some reason that night, that led to Siobhan getting in Eric's face. If the two of them had gotten to blows, one of them would have died. And I hate to say it, but that would probably have been Eric. Siobhan is massively dangerous. She's an incredibly good warrior. She knows exactly what she's doing. And while he might be more angrier than she is, she has other advantages over him. I didn't want to see that happen, so I got involved and tried to get in between the two of them and push them apart. When I did that, because Eric is used to me doing that, so I tried to push him back, and he took a step backwards because he's almost conditioned to do that when I tell him to. Siobhan isn't. So what happened was she thought I was being, I was pushing her harder than him. So she took it as suddenly being ganged up upon by two Get a Fenris. You know how she feels about our tribe.
He just sends her a look conveying that, yep.
Yeah. She thought that I was ganging up on her with Eric. Patrick was already pissed off. And before you knew it, we had Patrick and Siobhan yelling and screaming. You then had Ross step in to try to soothe the ruffled feathers of everyone. Except at this point, Eric, who's already enraged, suddenly feels that he's being ganged up upon by 3 Fina. And it escalates from there. It's just impossible to get everyone to calm down. At the same time, Una arrived from out of town, trying desperately to get through to us and explain that something terrible was happening. Nobody listened to her. It was a complete and total and fucking mess. By the time your howl was heard, everybody was already inches away from a bloodbath in the middle of St. Stephen's Green. That's why nobody responded.
Aaron looks at her and he feels angry and frustrated at this moment. The situation explained to him, he realizes that this is something that was not in her control, but it annoys him to such an extent that this is what happened, that he, knowing that at some level that it's not fair to blame her, looks at her and says, you shouldn't have let it come to that.
No, I agree. And it can't happen again very easily now that they aren't actually in the same set anymore. That's another bonus that came from all of this. But actually, for what it's worth, I agree with you. I shouldn't have let it come to that. Sometimes we wish we could do things over, don't we?
Aaron shrugs and forces a polite smile. Then he walks a little while and he chuckles, thinking of something. He chuckles and he looks at her. You'll pardon me for saying this.
Go ahead.
You got between Eric and Siobhan. I have to question your wisdom first.
Well, she says and chuckles back. I am also a Get a Fenris, and I have full confidence in my own glory. But that said, she says, and stops walking and looks at you for a moment and says,
he stops and turns to her.
I do not claim to be perfect. I do make mistakes. To the best of my knowledge, everybody makes mistakes from time to time. I am willing to deal with them when I make them. And in this situation, yes, the problem was that quite frankly, I should have never let it get to the point where it did. I'm not quite sure how I could have avoided it, because the moment we got into the sept and Eric saw Patrick, he just got started. I should maybe have predicted that it would have happened.
Aaron's movements implies that he's excusing her for what Eric is doing. It's like, that is not your business.
The thing is, she says, I'm not claiming perfection or infallibility. Far from it. What I do claim is that I'm the best choice for the sept and for the cairn.
I'm starting to believe you.
She extends a hand and says, fresh chance for both of us.
He looks at the hand and he decides to take it. And he nods to her and he does force a polite smile again. Says, fresh start.
Sure.
What a shit time to get it.
Yeah, yes. But then again, when has it actually ever been a good time to be a guru for the last 3,500 years or so?
According to the whiny sub-stories that are told around the bonfire, not that often.
Exactly my point. Now let's go and make sure together, all of us, that there are some good stories to tell.
He nods and follows her. And I think, unless you want to add something, we can like fade on that.
We can fade on that,
to the group.
We return to the group with coffee and bagels and maybe even a donut or two.
Yeah.
And then she takes her leave and lets you guys sit down and talk. Make your plans as you see fit.
Let's do that.
Isn't it going to be funny when all the Fina get back here and the litany has just been all turned on its head while they were gone?
I think you're being a little bit too ambitious there, Fanny.
Oh, that was good.
But for what it's worth, I want to see it too.
You know, my biggest concern is they'll come back, and of course, our kinfolk will be helping here, and I will have to explain to Siobhan that for the last couple of years, I've actually had a girlfriend she didn't know about.
Is that so bad?
Taryn just looks pointedly at her.
What? Is she jealous?
Well, strictly speaking, I think it's expected for all of us to have children.
Oh, that.
Aaron nods. I'm imagining him like lying with a cup of coffee, resting on his chest, like lying on dew-covered morning grass.
Having a girlfriend doesn't have to exclude her from getting some tail on the side.
No, but it's usually not looked nicely upon.
Usually smoothly.
At first I was about to, just tell her, but then I talked with Joseph first, and he said that I should be kinda careful.
Well, I think I've heard, and I don't think they like talking about it, but I think I've heard that some of the Black Furies can temporarily change into a man. She says and looks at Aaron.
Completely disturbed.
If Joseph says so, it's probably words of wisdom, but he's also overly cautious. Chill, Taryn.
Blame him.
Chill. They're not gonna do jack shit to you with us around.
On that note, I'll probably take my leave. I have a date with the spirit.
Take care of yourself. Remember, we may have passed our ride, but this city is still a shithole.
I know.
Don't sleep alone.
Oh, I never do. She smiles.
He gets the joke, but he also like steely-eyed catch your gaze and says, "I mean it."
She takes her dog to bed.
Shut up!
Yeah, no barnyard stuff.
She's not a bone gnawer, damn it.
Taryn, do you want me to come with you?
If you want to.
It's just so you don't, so you're not alone.
She stops for a while, and then she looks at Shiva. You know what? That's probably a good idea. Because I've never walked the Umbra alone, because we've always been told to never do that.
Where do you even sleep?
Me?
Yeah.
Is
Is your apartment still safe?
Yep.
Oh.
A mouse can't fart there without me knowing it.
Well, in that case, before we leave, Aaron,
I'm imagining swallows a sip of coffee and looks up, tilts his head.
As I mentioned, I had something I wanted to tell you.
He just now remembers that's a thing, and he looks the part like, oh yeah, what can I do you for?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that I'm actually really proud of you, because the other night you were basically offered everything you had ever wanted throughout most of your life, as far as I know. And you were able to turn it down, to choose us, to choose what you needed rather than what you wanted. And that's really admirable. And I think with that in mind, once it's time to consider choosing an alpha for the pack, I think you'll have my vote.
Aaron is dumbstruck. Initially, he masks his initially when she brings that up, it's the exact same reaction as before. He feels anger mounting. He has a hand in his pocket as he's lying on the ground. He's balling it into a fist. And then as she continues on, he suppresses it because he's looking at Shiva. He won't repeat the incident on Wolfton Square. So he's forcing back the wolf. And then you drop that bombshell and he just looks at you surprise in his eyes. The veneer of confidence kind of gone for that one moment.
Taryn pokes Shiva in the side, and now you're done, so he'll never speak again.
Speaking of that other night, your dad is officially off the hottie list.
What? Was he ever on it?
Well, he was quite good looking.
Yeah, he was.
I've heard it runs in the family, he says and stretches.
Fenner looks at Aaron. Not so sure about that.
I think Shiva just smiled.
Taliesin is raising the quintessential eyebrow raisedness at Aaron saying that.
They're so far up, they're gone into his hair.
Yes, he's for a brief second he becomes a blonde goateeless veterinary.
Yes, he doesn't have a receding hairline. He has receding eyebrows.
Yes.
All right.
After looking dumbstruck, he does, and responding to Fenner's suggest, he does eventually look back to Shiva, and I don't think he has the words, but he's sharing a look with you that conveys exactly what he's feeling.
No, Taliesin has the words.
Yeah, that's exactly what's the point, right? I am not finds the words. So he definitely shares genuine, more than just appreciation through his gaze.
Oh, they're having a moment.
Yeah, and I think Shiva, of course, returns the sentiment and gives him a nod before raising her hand in a goodbye motion and turning to Terran.
Let's go.
Sure.
And as they walk, Terran, who has become very much perceptive over the years, just gives her, elbow in the side. You have to choose Connell or Aaron. Very soft.
Shiva just looks at her with shock. What?
Yeah. Tweet, 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 tweet. Get down from here. The fuck was that?
Raven. He's had enough invading birds today.
Tweet, 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 tweet. Shut up, Raven. It's just fun. You should really try to, choose one of them so we don't string both of them along.
Shiva just looks at you like, what?
Yeah, I know. You have no idea what's going on. You're really dense, you know that, right?
What?
People call me dense. I don't see stuff in front of my face. You're worse. You're way worse, girl.
Oh my god, the sass! The sass!
That is what she's doing. She's doing the... That thing.
Yeah.
You're dense, girl. You're dense. And she's surprisingly good at it. She has been living in New York.
Taryn, I have no idea what you're talking about. You know that stuff's forbidden.
Yeah, but that doesn't keep you from really looking deep into their eyes.
I think Shiva blushes and then go, I have no idea what you're talking about. Did you need to talk to a spirit?
Yep. Let's go talk to a spirit.
All right.
You're redder than a tomato. You should do something about that.
I think she punches your shoulder.
Taryn recoils a little because Shiva is stronger than she used to be. And she says, I think your hair color is seeping into your skin. You should do something.
She punches your shoulder again.
Taryn is slightly amused as they continue through.
Well, actually, guys, what happens is because obviously the main moot area is there in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Ah.
And in order to get out from the barn, you go up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means that by the time you two are right around here,
Where? There. Yeah.
yeah, on the bridge, and basically Shiva is doing her damnedest to pretend that she's got no idea what's being talked about, and Taryn is being perceptive and politically highly incorrect. You see a splash in the water.
Taryn looks down.
You see there's like something has disturbed the water there.
What was that?
I don't know. How dark is it still?
It's getting light. They'll probably open the gates within the next 5 or 6 minutes or so.
In that case, I think Shiva conjures a light and sends it down towards the water, just so they can see better.
Just so that they can see better, indeed.
It's the cairn. Bad things shouldn't happen in the cairn.
Indeed. And I am just about to show you all something.
We're not looking for any cliffs to hang on.
But we're gonna get given them anyway, so...
I'm just...
And at the out of the water rises this figure.
A water ballerina.
What is this?
It's a strange spirit. Can't you read?
Yes. Out of the water, looking around to all of you.
You mean
With
two
a
of us?
Well, no, it looks to the people further away as well. They can't. I mean, you two are the ones who are close enough to notice that it's there. But it looks at everyone further away as well, and it says something. Well, obviously, Taran is able to understand it. Spirit speech is a thing. So you can you hear it saying, "Help me! They're strangling me," and then it dissolves and just falls back into the rest of the water. And that's the cliff I'm not going to let you guys hang on.
God damn you! God damn you! You lovely beast!
I are evil.
Yes.
All right, cool. That was a nice session. I really enjoyed. I personally enjoyed taking a moment to take the insider's look into how the SEP presumably operates.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, yes. I thought that was a very good thing.
Me too. Nice.
It was it's an unusual session to have where basically everything is one long right, more or less at least. But I thought it helped establish a lot of things, and obviously it's an important thing for the characters because their first time, what's it called? Their first moot where they have the right to speak and vote and so on.
I agree.
So that's an important seminal moment. It's something that should be played out, and which often isn't. So I'm really, really glad that we did.
Yeah. I also think this is the time you do that in a werewolf game, right?
Hell yes.
When you have in werewolf, if you take an entire night to do one thing, then you're playing the mood and if you're doing it vampire, it's the boardroom session, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I'd say that the it was good for character development. So I'm going to give you 2 XP for tonight.
Wonderful, thank you.
Neat.
And now you have a strange spirit try to, yeah.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho,
ho,
ho.
ho.
What? No. You use words, they mean nothing.
That is one of the oldest Vampire the Masquerade tropes. That in the original Vampire the Masquerade rulebook for second edition, the image of a Malkavian was a man basically hanging upside down with wild hair, clinging, grasping his own head while clearly in the midst of a scream, and he was wearing a flannel shirt and a t-shirt underneath it saying, in very childish script, saying, "Now I have a machine gun too, ho 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 ho," which is a quote from Die Hard.
All right.
So yeah,
I remember that book. It was lovely.
I mean, I can excuse myself on the basis that I don't remember anything about any original or second edition versions of Vampire the Masquerade, but I have seen Die Hard. I should have picked up on that. Well, I'll go and beat myself up about it later. Not literally.
It was a very good evening, guys, and I'm going to suggest we end the call here, and then I have a quick request afterwards of everyone.
All right, let's do it. Let's do that. This was a great session. Does anyone have any final remarks they want to make, or anything they want to say that's pertinent to the audience before we shut down for tonight?
No.
Borb is noted. All right. Well, in that case, thank you for watching this session of A Song of Tara. We'll be back next week, hopefully, with even more when we take our first look at, what are we actually going to do now that we have, like, a big open and ugly Dublin to step around in and get our feet dirty.
Yep.
So, we'll be back next time. So